Hey everybody, it's Raven, and I guess a lot of people got really interested in this little pincer thing that I made with the new rails. So I'm going to show you how I did it. I'm actually going to show you kind of how I did it, a few other tricks with rails, and something else I cooked up. So hope you guys enjoy. But before I do that, I've decided I'm going to get back into ship reviews, and I'm going to do it a little differently than I did before. So there should be a little bar popping up right now at the bottom of the screen with my email address on it. Send me the .sment, it's very important, it's a .sment file of whatever ship you want reviewed. I'm going to kind of do them like Saber does, except I'm going to do them only one ship at a time. So that's how ship reviews are going to be done from now on. It makes it a lot easier with my time schedule and everything else. So, yeah, I'll try to do lineup reviews in the future again, but at this exact moment, I can't regularly make that time commitment. All right, so let's dig into this little thing. So, first off, back here, this is either one of these, this one or this one. We'll set this off and it'll open or close. And before I had a little like thing that it caught. Mind you, collisions don't really work quite properly yet, so I don't know if you can actually pick anything up with it. It was a funny little coincidence. Anyway, I'll show you exactly how this was set up, so let me go ahead and get rid of these real quick. So yeah, so that's actually the pincer right there, and the rest of it is window dressing. But we've got ourselves a core and a rail docker, and this little rail docker you can see is aimed that way, and this one is aimed on the outside. So they're just there, and this is a monostable circuit. I'll show you how to set that up in just a second, and it just opens or closes them. So we're gonna replicate this build real quick, basically, and I'll show you kind of how to put it all together. So step one is pretty simple, and this seems to be the way the rails are going to work, pretty much, period. So what we're going to do is we're going to come out a little bit. So we want this one block gap here. We're going to grab the basic rails, slap them in, and do 4. Why not? And we're just going to kind of dress around this a little bit. So yeah, you can control rails with logic. Let me get rid of these lights because I don't need them. I was using it for another build. Grab a docker. I need this. Yeah, that should do the trick. Oops. Okay, so each rail is controlled by activation modules. So like this one right here, you're just gonna select all those and then select all those. So this side, these two will control this side. Now a rail can only go in two directions, either this way or this way. Or at least it's really only going to be effective going that way. So we're going to go ahead and put these down. Think of it almost like area trigger blocks. So as long as an activation module is close to one of these, it'll just pick up whatever direction. So we're going to use tab 3 and tab 4. And that's why the tab menu is coming on the screen a lot, and that's going to get these things to rotate. So there we go. So we got like that and that. So if I click this button, this is the closest, or this is the only one that, the only rail block that's touching it. All of these turn that way. If I do it that way, it turns that way. Okay, so simple enough. What we're gonna do next is we're going to turn this, and let me see, did I do that? Yeah, I did it that way. Okay. We're going to turn these into a monostable circuit. So what we're going to need are 2 NOT signals down here. So that one hooks up to there, this one to there, this one here, this one to here. And I'll show you exactly how to set up the monostable circuit a little bit better. But what this does is means it's a toggle. It'll turn one off and one on at any given time. So they'll always be going in one direction. So, not the band. So we'll replicate that on this side. And we're gonna do the exact same thing here. Let's get this one. So Sorry this takes so long, and sorry my keyboard's so loud, but it's life. Alright, so we're just gonna hook these up. There you go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave them so that they're both pointed outwards. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make it so that we can hook both of these up. So we're gonna do another monostable circuit. I'm gonna show you exactly how I do it the easiest way. Sorry. Unset that. Now, this is usually how I do it because it's easy to remember. So these are all hooked up to the one on the outside. So when I do that, they flip back and forth. And all we have to do is grab one of these, connect it up there, connect it up there. And you'll see it switches back and forth. Okay, so we're gonna start on the outside here. Let's go ahead and grab another core. Now we're gonna make the docking arms, which should be easy enough. What we need is a rail docker. So we're gonna slap this right over here, and we're gonna kind of go until this arrow is down at the bottom. Come on. Alright, so when we're gonna kind of alter the design just a little bit from that, but that's fine. It'll still do exactly the same thing. So basically this face facing this away is what's going to dock up. So we're going to go up here, grab the rail docker, and kind of slap it in. Oh, look at that. Actually, it's about the same. So now, if we look down here, it's moving that away. So these arrows match up, and that's how you know where it's going to be. So we're actually going to leave this alone for the very moment, and we're going to do one more. I've been playing with these a lot lately. I think I can get away with this side now. And so we're going to do this again until we have that same, like so. And we just kind of slap that in. And there we go. So we've actually got the mechanism done. The rest is kind of window dressing. So let's go ahead and add in, just sort of do like that. And we'll go one in, just to make it look pretty. And some wedges, because wedges. Alright, so here we go. Like so. And like so. So there's the first of our two arms. We're going to now jump into this one and do the exact same thing, basically. So this goes out 1, 2, 3, and back one, then down, and now we're just going to put these wedges where they need to be. Now, I can't promise that, you know, this will actually be able to pick something up in the end, but it could. I don't know. Alright, so here we go. Now, if we click this button, they close. Click it again, they open. So all we have to do now is sort of dress it all up. So we're just going to kind of put that there, slap down symmetry again. I like to go just outside, oops, just outside. Now, as you guys might notice, there are no docking areas or anything along those lines. Don't need it anymore. The game does a collision check every time you try to place a block, basically, or at least that's the plan. And guess what? We've got ourselves a working pincer. I mean, it's probably not as pretty as that one because it doesn't go out as far, but whatever. It does the job. So yeah, there you go. So that brings me on to part 2. So one of the things that I also got asked about a little bit is my giant framework. There we go. So we're gonna jump in here. So This is the ship that took off earlier, if you will. It required a lot of logic, as you can see back here. These are just the ones here, and then there's even more on the inside. I'll show you kind of how that worked. It's a variation of the other one. But this is where things get a little bit more complicated. So I've got this rotation block here. These are corners, and they will spin your ship around. So let's see. Try to remember exactly how I did all this stuff. That one. Oops. Let's get back in. We're going to turn all these off. I don't have these hooked up as monostable circuits, so there we go. So this is the left and right. So one thing for corners work a little differently. So as you see, that block isn't actually working there. That's because it works for this one. But when I flip it over and then, oh, damn it, flip it over, you see it actually makes a path out. So then all we have to do is turn those on, and our ship will just start trundling along all the way up to the front. And it should hit there, turn, go over here, and head on out. Now when it comes back in, and here, I'll actually just flip on a corner right here. Corners, like I said, will rotate, and that's how I did that. And while we're trundling along, I can show you this one. Okay, so this actually activates all of them at once. And then the opposite. So this is exactly the same thing as we did with the Pincer. This one is a little different. I can show it to you. So this is, when it goes outwards, it turns these three that away. When it goes inwards, it turns the bottom ones that away. Now, the reason is because you got to make a path. Alternatively, when it's going down, these ones get turned downward. And when it's going out again, the bottom ones get turned out. So we can actually, you can see those ones flip, and we just hit that, and that flips, and it goes right on out. So it's a little different. It means you really kind of have to think through how you do the rails. But yeah. And then all I did, basically, from there, is hook everything up to monostable circuits. So this will flip these two, and just those two. And you turn it off. And underneath, oh, here, I'll show you the corner here. So we're going to hit this corner, and as you can see, this block right here is in a different direction. So we're almost there. So we hit it there, and it just keeps on going. And I'll show you the face down here. You can see it's just pointed straight forward. We're going to get here, and I'll show you the rotation. Now, corners are a little bit weird, and mind you, if you're going to play in the dev build, use the 64-bit default texture pack, then you'll get the arrows. No other texture pack or variant of the texture pack has it. Confused the living crap out of me for a long time, and yeah, reasons. Okay, so here we have the same thing. This is the ins, those are the outs for these side ones. So we're gonna hit this, and then I'll show you one of the coolest little things, I think, personally. So we should be going, we're gonna flip 180 degrees. So here we go, turn, and corner turns it again. So supposedly this is the corners are gonna make it possible to do 3D travel. Right now you can really only travel on a 2D plane. So I'm gonna let that go, and I'm gonna flip this off so that it actually goes all the way to the end. Oops, oops, oops. That one. Yes, I got it just in time. So then that'll travel all the way to the end. So yeah, that's the basics of Rails. I'll actually, once they become a little bit more stable and a little bit more finalized, I'll do proper tutorials on them. But they're not really at that point where I feel fully comfortable doing that. But what I will do is show you guys this. This is a little concept I came up with, just for fun. Now we'll turn off light mode. So assume this is the side of a ship or something. If you ever wanted to have a hidden hangar door, as you can see, you can fly in, grab whatever you want, and fly right on out. And this little button, we can watch this actually go in. It'll go over and then in. It's actually pretty elegant, if you ask me. I think it's pretty cool. Obviously, you could hide it a lot better if you wanted. But yeah, it just slides right on out and slides over. Now, there's no collision detection, so technically I could have blocks here, but that won't be the case in the end, so why build for it now? But I'll strip this away and show you guys the logic behind it. Yeah, it should be okay. So this is basically everything right here. It's just a rail that goes down there. So we've got two monostable circuits. Here's the main one. This goes down here, and that is for the going backwards one. This is for going forwards. So if I just toggle this, you can see it'll slide all the way forward. Now what I did is, in one direction of this, I put a delay. And that's so that when this flips right here, I think I can show this better. So this only has one block selected. This has two. So what that means is this will flip over second. Yeah, it just has an extra second on it. This is the main monostable circuit. So if we flip this, it'll slide into place. Now, I did it wrong. There we go. It kind of self-corrects too. It's really nice. This is the main monostable circuit. I just hooked up a single button on the outside so that I could do it from the outside so you guys could see. And all it is when this one goes, it will trigger this set first, if I remember right. So all of these will go that way. Then it'll trigger this one, which will... Oh, that's going back the other way. So it'll trigger all of this to go this way, and then it'll trigger these. So if we watch, see, if you watch right there, you can kind of see it. Let's flip that back. Watch this corner right here, okay? So it flips and then flips. And that way it's all going in the right direction and it just slides right into place. So yeah, hidden doors. It's going to be a possibility. And you can do multiple side doors and everything under the sun. It's going to be really cool and I'm super, super excited. Right now there's a placeholder docking thing. So this is something I wanted to do, which was put the rail on the docked up piece so that you could basically just kind of get away with not having to worry about stuff as much, you know? You could have the pieces moving on top of the ship and have the rails in the actual platforms. The only downside to that is once you're docked up, right? So you could actually, you can make this work. But here, I'll jump out. And mind you, this is placeholder, still dev build. But the ship's the piece that moves, even though this is the smaller piece. Not the plate. So that's sort of a downside. But you know, early in the builds and everything. And right now it's sort of a placeholder model. So not really that big of a deal. Anyway, I know the rail video got a lot of attention and people were wondering how I did it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Whenever, like I said, whenever rails get a little bit more fleshed out and you know, less bugs and all that good stuff, especially like right before they, or right when they come out rather, I will do a tutorial video on them and how to actually use them, but I don't want to jump the gun and get it wrong. That's all there is to it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This has been pretty insane. I've been having way too much fun in the debt build. Way too much fun. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you next time.
Put the flame out, you can't get to me. Throw your sticks and your stones, go break all of my bones. You won't ache my soul, you can't get to me. And there is no better